Welcome to part 3 of a 3-part series on the introduction to the IHM Input Database. If you have access to a dual monitor, you may want to have an IHM project directory containing the IHM Input Database open for review on your second screen during this training video. During this video, we will take a look inside the IHM database while showing frequently used tables, relationships, and queries. To open the IHM database, navigate to the project directory and double-click on the database. When an IHM database is open, tables or queries are listed in the left panel. Make sure the left panel is displaying tables. If not, left-click on the small arrow and select Tables. There are two views for each table, the Datasheet view and the Design view. First, let's open the production well table in Datasheet view. Use the scroll bar to scroll down to the production well table. Tables are listed in alphabetical order. There are several ways to open a table in Datasheet view. In the left panel, double-click on a table, or right-click on a table and select Open. In the right panel, data records are displayed for each field. In this case, we see there are 4 fields: production well ID, cell ID, name, and description. If we type information into a cell and then move to a new cell, data are automatically saved. Exercise care not to make unintended changes when a table is open. If we would like more information about what the data in each of the fields means, we can open the table in Design view. From the Datasheet view, to view a table in Design view, right-click in the top portion of the table and select Design view, or left-click View in the top corner and select Design view. When we look at the Design view for the production well table, we see that the table contains 4 fields. 2 fields, production well ID and cell ID, are numeric fields. The name and description fields are text fields. We also see that a small key is displayed to the left of the production well ID field. This indicates that the field has the primary key designation and that entries in this field must be unique. This means that duplicate production well ID numbers cannot be added to the table. Let's go back to Datasheet view and see what happens when we try to enter new data into the table. To go back to Datasheet view, left-click the View menu in the upper left corner and select Datasheet view. Then, press the arrow with the line at the bottom indicating that you want to move to the last record in the dataset. To add a record, begin typing in the row after the last record, where the asterisk appears. We will attempt to add production well number 1 that is located in cell 37099. Since production well ID, name, and cell ID are required fields, we must enter data into those fields. When we attempt to navigate away from that row, however, an error message appears. This is because this table already contains an entry for production well ID equal to 1. After clearing the error message, press the Escape key to delete the row that you added. User-defined fields can be added to any table, but these fields are not used by IHM. Let's go back to Design view by right-clicking and selecting Design view, and let's add a field called Use for Scenario to the production well table. We'll go down to the first empty row beneath the last field, and we'll add a field. We'll call it Use for Scenario, and we will select a data type. In this case, we'd like to make it equal to a numeric field. And in the bottom of the window, we see we have choices as to what type of field we would like. And in this case, we'd like a long integer field. And then we'll add a short description for the field. When you've added your field, if you attempt to exit, Access will prompt you and ask you whether or not you want to save the changes. And you can say yes, go ahead and save your changes, and your table will close out. Then, if you go back to the left-hand side and double-click on your table, and open your table in Datasheet view, you can see that you now have an additional field here. And that field will not be used by IHM, but it can be used for the user to create scenario alternatives. To view table properties, right-click on any table in the left panel and select Table Properties. IHM auto-generated tables are noted in the Table Properties. IHM auto-generated tables are overwritten each time IHM preprocessing is executed. If the user modifies data in an auto-generated table, all user modifications will be lost the next time preprocessing is run. And you can see, looking at the table properties for production well properties, production well is not an auto-generated table. Conversely, if we look at the table properties for the land fragment table, we see that it is noted that it is an auto-generated table. Relationships are also important in the IHM database. To view relationships, go to Database Tools, Relationships. This example shows the relationships between the parent table production well and the child tables as shown. Relationships can help the user determine which table stores information that's needed for a given simulation. Never delete a standard IHM table, because if you delete a table in the IHM, the relationships will be broken. Refilling an existing table with updated data will maintain these established parent-child relationships. To view more relationships, right-click where relationships are displayed and click Show All. Finally, let's take a look at queries in the IHM database. Toggle between viewing tables and queries in the left panel in order to view the list of queries. If you're not currently viewing queries, go to the pull-down arrow and change your selection from tables to queries. A list of queries appears on the left-hand side where the list of tables was. Queries are grouped by type. Select, append, delete, update, make table, and crosstab. Notice that the icons are consistent with the query type. For example, all select queries are grouped together with the same icon. Be careful not to double-click on append, delete, or update queries. This could modify information in your tables. To open a query at any time without running it, right-click on the query and select Design View. Opening a query in Design View allows users to take a look at the query but not run it. If you are using an existing IHM application, you will most likely not need queries unless you are making changes. A query can be run by double-clicking it in the left panel or by clicking on the Run icon in the upper left corner when the query is open in Design View. Note that a query can also be viewed in SQL View by right-clicking and selecting SQL View. The user can add queries to the IHM database without affecting the functionality of the IHM. When you're done looking at the query, close out the query and close out the IHM database. Thanks for watching part 3 of the 3-part introduction to the IHM input database. More videos are available on the IHM website at www.integratedhydrologicmodel.org.